My car literally reeks of In-N-Out because I left my bag in here. And am I gonna go get seconds? Is that gonna happen? What's up, you guys? Today I am back with a Project Hobbit to Hot Damn / strictly lifting video for you guys. I really gotta come up with a new intro because I say the same thing every single time. Now, if you only come here for my strictly lifting footage, then this means nothing to you, but for those of you that watch my daily vlogs as well, you will notice that the footage from the daily vlog that was sped up with music is the same footage but raw today. Some of the sets might be sped up for the sake of just timing and synchronizing it with, you know, what I'm saying, but I figured I needed to throw it in the vlog, and I also wanted to make, you know, sort of like a talk through video addressing some stuff that was going on in today's workout. Whew. I am so tired and I have to pee so bad, but do it for the YouTube. Alright, so today is now day 3, week 2 of phase 2. Not that you guys care about any of these things, but it helps me to keep track. Alright, so we started off with sumo deadlifts as per usual. I didn't record a warm-up because it's always the same thing. I always warm up with 135 pounds. It's just what I do. Anything else would just feel silly, so it works best for me that way. I usually do about 4 to 5 reps of that just to kind of get my body warmed up, and I know that for the rest of my sets I'm usually working with anywhere from 3 to 6 reps, so I just want to make sure that I'm kind of getting my joints and my muscles all warmed up and ready for that. And for this month, Omar wants me using my belt for my sumo deadlifts, and a couple of you, not too many of you, are kind of throwing in your input saying, you know, that it's absolutely ridiculous for me to be using a belt with such light weight, but you guys have to realize that I have now been lifting sadly for a year now, so I know I haven't put on a lot of strength gains, but regardless, these movements are not unfamiliar to me. Now, would Omar recommend a client who has never lifted in their life to purchase a belt and shoes and sleeves? Most likely not, but he's been working with me for a while, and he knows that these things can be improved, and he also knows that I know what I'm doing now to an extent. You know, like, I'm not a completely newbie lifter. I have some experience under my belt with lifting, so don't worry about my program. Don't worry, Omar's a fucking genius and I completely trust him. He's not gonna lead me in the wrong direction, and it's been working. The belt is working just fine for me. So, started off with 160 pounds for 5 reps, and what I can say is my belt is extremely loose on me. Like, when I squat, it feels amazing. Like, when I squat, it feels fine, but when I deadlift, I talked about it in the last video, the belt just like pops off and I'm like, like, wait a minute, no, you need to stay latched. Like, I need you. I need you to work with me right now. So today I decided to test it out by keeping on my GymShark sweatshirt, which is obviously huge on me as opposed to like a tank top. So that felt perfect. Like, it locked up just the way it needed to. It was nice and snug. There was no popping of any sort. So that tells me that I'm probably gonna need to take off the little metal clip and adjust the belt, which sucks. Because if you are a female and you're not that mechanical savvy, then, you know, doing the whole unscrewing process and adjusting it, it's really annoying. So that's not gonna be too fun, but it will help my lifts. So I just kept my sweatshirt on for the deadlifts even though I was boiling hot. And so today was pretty brutal. I did 6 sets of sumo deadlifts. So after 160, I had moved on to 165 pounds for 4 reps. And then from there it was 170 pounds for 3 reps. And I think around this time I started getting some feedback from Omar, and he was telling me that my hips were beginning to rise a little too much, and I said, at what point is this happening? Is it, you know, when I'm pulling the bar? Is it, I don't know, is it when I'm descending? I don't fucking know. And he had pretty much said yes, and that I really just needed to keep my knees open and push through the bar, like really just grind all up on that bar. And Nigel pretty much said the same thing. He was like, just make sure, this is a direct quote, make sure at the start before the pull that you are pushing your knees out hard as fuck, sitting back, and keeping the bar right against your shins. We want shins vertical at the bottom. So I pretty much said, and I'm sure if the deadlifts are still playing, I had a tendency to start deadlifting with the bar really far away from me, and I'm not entirely sure why I did that, and so I tried to really correct that on my last 3 sets. After sumo deadlifts, I moved on to high bar squats. Alright, so from there we moved on to high bar squats, but before that, a couple of you ladies have been asking me, how the hell do you put on your knee sleeves? Can you just show us a moment of what you do? So that's obviously playing for you guys now. I kind of mixed advice that I had gotten from Omar and from Brendan on how to put these on. So the way that I do it is I put it over my foot, I flip the top half over as much as I possibly can, but I still leave like a quarter at the bottom open, and then I flip that up, and from there I pull it over my knee, and I pretty much pull it up until that quarter is like right at the tip of the bottom of my knee. And then I flip the top over, pull that, make sure it's nice and snug, and then I flip the last bottom lip of the knee sleeve. And that is how I put on my knee sleeves. And then I put on my squat shoes for my shitty ankle mobility. If you guys have any good ankle mobility tip workout things, then link that in the comments section. Anyway, I did 4 sets of 6 with 135 pounds, and I have been talking about this every single week I do this video, that I want to make small jumps in my high bar squat. I started off with 25 pounds, 95 pounds for 6 when I first started this program 2 months ago. Now I'm up to 135. Not that I couldn't squat 135 before, but what matters is I'm doing it correctly now. I wanted to make sure that I'm, you know, using these for speed the way that Omar wanted me to. I wanted to make sure I was correcting anything I could with my high bar form, but I also wanted to make sure that I slowly jumped up the weight and got stronger with them. So do I think I have more than 135 pounds in me? Absolutely, but it is pretty grueling right after doing sumo deadlifts, so I'm gonna keep making small jumps with this. This video is already 12 minutes long. I have so much editing to do. Alright, so from there, moved on to stiff-legged deadlifts with the barbell. Nothing new here. This is 3 sets of 5. I believe for my first 2 sets, I did the usual. That's Brandon! Wait, listen. Hello. Okay, sorry, that was Brendan, but I probably had to adjust the audio because that ringing was loud as fuck. I believe I was saying I've been sticking with the same weight pretty much. I did 115 pounds for 5 on my first 2 sets, and then on my last set I was like, you know what, I'm being a little bit of a pansy, let me try and up the weight a little bit. So I put on a total of 10 pounds, 5 pounds on both sides, which put me at 125 pounds, and it did obviously move a little bit slower, but I do know from here on out that I should be doing 125 instead of 115 because I need to not be a little fancy. Hey, after that I moved on to goblet squats, and this was 3 sets of 8 reps, and same thing, I moved up in weight. I started off with this with like 35 or 40 pounds, and today I did 50 pounds, which was like, whoa, check me out. But yeah, I did 50 pounds for 8 reps, and these, for the first time, I was like, I'm dying. I am literally going to die right now. It was so, like, there was so much burning all up in my body. Again, another thing where I know that I should be doing 50 pounds from here on out. So not much to say about goblet squats other than they are the shiz nai. My very last thing was leg curls, and I just did lying down hamstring prone curls. There's not much to say about these. I did 50 pounds, and I'd say about 5 or 4 reps in I would knock it down to 40 pounds just because my legs were extra fried, but I knew that if I could do that 50 pounds, I wanted to do it until I burned out, and then basically I just did like a drop set. I just dropped it down. That way I could just knock out the last, you know, 6 to 8 reps that I had left to do. And in general, this is a really, really good hamstring workout, but this day is the shit, and at the very end of it, I finish off with my HIIT for just 10 minutes. I usually do like 10 to 12 minutes, and I just go on the elliptical. I do 90 seconds steady pace and 30 seconds hard. That is the end of today's Strictly Lifting and Project Hobbit to Hot Damn. If you guys are enjoying this series, please show your support by throwing this video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. I just want to thank you guys for all of the positivity and the support and the love on this channel recently. It means so, so much to me, and that is how I will conclude today's video. I love you guys to absolute pieces. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Peace!